I am Vincent Cerny, and you're getting ready to preview and look at part 2 of a Cerny Success Show. The word success is the success of our guest or the topic to help you in the audience reach a higher level of satisfaction. If you want to bring me in to speak to your group as a motivational speaker, my email address is cernysuccess@aol.com, or call me at 321-544-1500. And we're back to the Cerny Success Show. I'm your host, Vincent Cerny. We're talking to the on-site computer specialists, Adam and Peggy Orenzak. By the way, again, in Central Florida, their telephone number for anybody that would like to find out computer advice, doesn't matter what you're worried about. They pretty much have a lot of answers, and we're going to be expanding on that in the second half of the show. In the 321 area, the number is 392-0697. Now, Adam, we were talking about what computers people should purchase. Briefly, you talked about homeowners. We're going to get into small and medium businesses, but you mentioned with homeowners that one of the points is that lower price computer has maybe a 3, 4, 5-year shelf life. What about if they've got teenagers at home that are using the computer a lot? Do teenagers add a different dimension to computer use?
They certainly do. Typically what we see in a household with 1, 2, 3 teenagers is the $300 to $500 computer that in very short time has been taken down to its knees as far as speed goes. Teenagers tend to surf websites that are loaded with what we call malware in the industry. Malware, viruses. Viruses aren't as big as a problem as they were 10 years ago because these producers of these have been a little sneakier now and created what we call malware and spyware. And those things will just bog down a computer in a matter of days when your brand new computer is now crawling and gasping for air from these different sites and downloads, music downloads that are gotten from the wrong sites, not from the legitimate sites, are one of the largest problems that I see with teenagers and really any amount of computer. Whether you buy a $500 computer or a $2,500 computer, teenagers can still take them to their knees. So the proper proactive steps should be taken with the security systems that we can provide for that.
Okay, now you told me something interesting in a radio interview over a year ago when we met at a program, and you said that you have the ability to take a computer like that and clean it up,
Yes.
clean out some of the baggage that
Right.
has been picked up by all the different things that have been flying into the computer from various sites. Even though people have protection, your AVG types or,
Right.
or whatever, how do you do that? Can you come into a home or an office and do that, or do they have to bring the computer to your office?
Everything that we do is on site.
Okay.
So that way we're not asking the customer to unplug their machine and remember how to plug it back in when they're done. So we come to you and do everything on site. And yes, that's something that one of our services that we do, we can come in and get you cleaned up, get you close to back as new as possible, depending on how far the damage has gone. One thing that we're just newly developing right now, is what we call an on-site agent. That on-site agent, for a small monthly fee, can reside on your computer and report to me and to our business what problems might be coming. If there's too much of the spyware getting in, we can be proactive and bolster that up with very little interaction with the client now.
What's the quickest way the homeowner or the business owner of a computer will know that their computer has been picking up a lot of those extra baggage spyware things that are slowing it down? How will they know? What are the 2-1 ways they'll understand as soon as possible?
Unfortunately, by the time they start seeing it, it's usually too late. It's usually bogged down pretty good. When your computer all of a sudden seems slower, you need some proactive cleaning done right away. Or those malware and those spywares will build and build and build, and some will bring your computer to an irreparable state where we have to completely format the computer and reinstall Windows from scratch to get rid of them because they get so linked and locked into the system.
Like a snowball coming down the hill. You want to
right.
catch it at the top of the hill or just from the edge and not let it get all the way to the bottom because it's a lot bigger, a lot tougher. All right, let's talk about the business owner. A small computer, a small business, and a medium-sized business would say 30 computers. What type of computer should they be purchasing?
They should be a little more proactive in their purchase. I always encourage businesses to buy with margin. Don't buy the lowest price today because in 2 years you're going to be buying that again. So I always encourage to buy with margin so you're not running out of technology in 2 years.
You've got room to grow.
You've got room to grow. I always encourage and help make those purchases so that computer will have a lifespan of 3 to 5 years. And then at the end of the 5-year span, it's still a working computer that might just get handed down to a lesser use in the office.
Or back home with somebody.
Possibly back home, that's correct.
All right. Peggy, one of the questions that a lot of people have is battery backup. I know there are people out there right now, shame, that don't have battery backup. And whether you're in Maine, Alaska, California, but especially Florida, especially with our summer thunderstorms, you want some type of backup if you lose power. What do you recommend as far as battery backup?
Well, as far as the size of the backup, that would be a question for Adam. There are a couple different sizes depending on the size of the computer that you have, your voltage requirements and that kind of thing. But here in Florida especially, we need them because with the thunderstorms and the lightning strikes and that kind of thing, the battery backups protect from the computer being shut down if the power blinks, if the power goes out. But they also have surge protection in them if lightning comes in.
That was my next question. So people should know that is there any reason not to have a battery backup?
No.
No. It's like not putting gas in your car.
Right.
All right. And Adam, then let me ask you, how can people prevent endless junk mail from coming into you?
The junk mail, huge problem nowadays. There's no way around it. If you start getting it, it's not that you've done something wrong. You're going to get it. Everybody's going to get it nowadays. Sometimes it'll be a little more delayed for some folks than others. But the key is to have like we said in the beginning of the show, is to have a full-blown security suite. Whether it's an AVG product or a ESET product or a Norton antivirus, something that's fully up to date, and they will have a decent spam solution in them that will catch that garbage before it shows it to you or possibly infects you.
All right. How can somebody log into their work computer from their home?
There's a number of ways to do that.
Well, I know several of the major talk show radio programs advertise, once you go to a site, click on their name. So my feeling is they get a little piece of the action when somebody picks up that software.
That's correct.
All right. But what are one or two names that people should know that you might recommend, or what would you give them as far as advice?
There's actually, for a small business owner that doesn't have a large budget, there's actually a free product from logmein.com. There's no kickbacks on that. It's a free product. For one computer, it works very, very well.
Okay. Well, a lot of people, I'm sure out there, if they can do 2-3 hours work on a Sunday afternoon, get caught up, they hit Monday morning running, and the business becomes a lot more efficient.
That's right.
One of the points I mentioned about computers, and I don't mean to get political, but they keep raving about Clinton's surpluses during the 1990s, and I credit that to the use of computers. I mean, a salesman in 1985 doing $1 million worth of business was making X dollars, and with a laptop in 1995, they were doing probably $2.5 million with the same 45 48-hour-a-week work week, but that laptop made life a lot easier and made their work a lot more efficient, made their company more money for them.
That's very
and everybody made money and paid more taxes, and everybody was happy. So, all right, we've talked about a lot of things. Peggy, we've seen an evolution. I'm going to say 3.5 computers to Windows 95, 98, XP, today Vista. I've heard people love or hate Vista. What does Peggy Orenzak say about Windows Vista?
Well, a lot of people don't like it because change is difficult. You know, you get used to something and then here you have something new. Now it's different. Now I have to go somewhere different to do what I was doing before. So there is a lot of that in Vista, but really once you get used to it, it's great. It's prettier. It has some neat extra things that make things easier that weren't in Windows XP. But I like it, but there are the people that just don't like it.
Okay.
And people will have to learn it eventually.
Adam, what's next in line after Vista?
I believe there's a Windows 7 coming, and it's actually coming a little sooner than Vista came after XP. They're pushing it out a little faster, probably because Vista has gotten a little bit worse of a rap than
got a bloody nose.
A little bloody nose, but like Peggy said, we're all going to be there soon enough. The new Windows that is coming out is going to be very touchscreen oriented.
Okay, all right, I see that. In the last minute, Adam, what are the one or two biggest mistakes owners of computers make? The
biggest two items. The users don't back up their systems. We get that all the time where the computer's crashed and now they've lost all their grandkids' pictures. That's one of the biggest things. The other thing is keeping their antivirus and their patches up to date. Those are the two largest things that I see that makes users spend more money than they shouldn't have to spend.
Well, first of all, again, I want to thank both of you for coming here and giving our viewers a master's degree in computer advice. Again, your business is On-Site Computer Specialists. Your telephone number in Central Florida, this will be seen in Orlando, is 321-392-0697. Well, thank you very much. You've been watching the Cerny Success Show. I am your host, Vincent Cerny, and throughout our travels, may we find more success at every crossroads, especially about computers, from what we've learned from Adam and Peggy Orenzak. Thank you very much for participating in the Cerny Success Show, and this will be rebroadcast again later this week. I'm your host, Vincent Cerny. Thank you. Thank you for watching the Cerny Success Show presentation. The crew and myself want to thank you. Our one thought in mind is to present something to help you reach a higher level of happiness and satisfaction. And if you want to bring me in to speak to your group anytime as a motivational speaker, my email address is cernysuccess@AOL.com, or you can call me at 321-544-1500.